You already know what it feels like. That moment you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and look away faster than you intended to. That feeling when you get winded climbing a flight of stairs and nobody says anything, but you notice. That quiet frustration of waking up every single morning feeling heavier than the night before. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. Like something is slowly draining out of you, and you cannot figure out how to fill it back up. I see you, and I want you to know that what you are experiencing is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is not some character flaw. It is what happens when nobody ever gave you the right information in the simplest possible way. So today, that changes. Before we go any further, I have to be transparent with you. We have related programs linked down below in the video description. If you are someone who is serious about taking everything you learned today and going 10 times deeper with structured guidance, those programs exist for exactly that reason. Not everyone needs them. Honestly, if you are happy just picking up a few tips here and there, those programs are not for you. But if part of you already knows that you need more than motivation, that you need a real system, then you might want to check those out before this video is over, because the people who tend to benefit most from those resources act early rather than waiting until they feel ready. Now let us get into what you actually came here for. Here is the truth that the fitness world never wants to say out loud. Transforming your body does not require you to suffer. It does not require hours in a gym. It does not require expensive equipment, a perfect diet, or some genetic advantage that you were supposedly not born with. What it requires is consistency with the right movements, done in the right order, with the right understanding of what your body is actually trying to do. Think about the last time you tried to get in shape. Maybe you downloaded an app. Maybe you bought a program. Maybe you just decided on a Monday that this was going to be the week. And then by Thursday, life happened. Work got overwhelming. Your body was sore in ways that scared you. The routine felt unsustainable. And slowly, without even making a conscious decision, you stopped. And then came the guilt. That specific guilt of knowing you quit again. That voice in your head that whispers maybe you are just not the type of person who can do this. That voice is lying to you. And here is why I know that with absolute certainty. The reason most people fail at transforming their bodies has nothing to do with their willpower and everything to do with the complexity of what they were trying to follow. When a system is too complicated, your brain interprets it as a threat and manufactures reasons to avoid it. This is not a motivational problem, this is a design problem, and when you fix the design, everything changes. So here is the routine, simple, proven, built on how your body actually functions. Start with movement that wakes your body up without exhausting it. Every single morning before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes moving your joints. Circles with your shoulders, slow rotations through your hips, gentle tilts side to side through your spine. This is not a warm-up, this is a reset. What you are doing is telling your nervous system that today is a day for movement, not stillness. People who do this consistently report feeling less stiff, more energized, and dramatically less pain throughout the day within 2 to 3 weeks. That is not anecdotal. That is thousands of people reporting the same pattern. Now here is where it gets powerful. 3 times per week you are going to do what researchers call compound functional movements. These are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at once. Think of a squat not as a leg exercise, but as a full-body coordination event. Think of a push-up not as a chest exercise, but as something that engages your core, your shoulders, your triceps, and your stability system simultaneously. When you train this way, you burn more, you build more, and you do it in less time. Here is what that actually looks like in practice. 3 sets of squats, 3 sets of push-ups, 3 sets of a hip hinge, which is basically any movement where you bend forward at the hips with a straight back, like picking something heavy off the floor. You do not need weights. You do not need a gym. You need about 25 minutes in a floor. Now stop for a second and think about that. 25 minutes 3 times a week. That is 75 minutes total. Most people spend more time than that watching television on a Tuesday night. The cost of not doing this is not just physical, it is the energy you lose, the confidence that quietly erodes, the relationships that suffer when you feel too depleted to show up fully, the opportunities that pass by because you simply do not feel like yourself. The people who have committed to routines this simple have reported dropping inches off their waists within 6 to 8 weeks. They talk about sleeping better, thinking more clearly, feeling something they had almost forgotten the name of, feeling alive. And here is something I want you to sit with for a moment. Every single day you spend telling yourself you will start tomorrow, your body is paying a price. Muscle is slightly harder to build. Joints are slightly more stiff. Metabolism is slightly slower. None of this is irreversible. But the window of easiest transformation is always right now, never later. Research consistently shows that people who begin a movement practice at whatever point they decide to begin make faster initial progress than those who wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions never come. But progress is available at any time you decide to reach for it, so on the days you are not doing your 3 movement sessions, what do? You walk. That is it. You walk for 30 minutes, outside if possible. No phone, no podcast, just you and your body moving through space. Walking is wildly underrated as a body transformation tool. It lowers cortisol, which is the hormone most responsible for belly fat storage. It improves circulation. It regulates blood sugar. It clears your mind in ways that no meditation app has ever fully replicated. The most physically transformed people in the world, across every fitness tradition, every culture, every era of human history, walk. Now here's the pattern interrupt moment. Because I want to ask you something direct. How many times have you learned something like this and done nothing with it? Be honest with yourself. Information is everywhere. Transformation is rare. The gap between those two things is not more information. It is structure. It is accountability. It is having something set up that removes the decision-making and replaces it with a system that does the thinking for you, so all you have to do is show up. The people who show the most dramatic physical transformations are almost never the most talented. They are almost never the most genetically blessed. They are the ones who stopped trying to figure it out alone and plugged into something that already had the answers. Which brings me back to where we started. The related programs in the video description below are not for everyone. If you are the kind of person who can take what you learned today, apply it with perfect consistency, and never need guidance or structure beyond this, then you genuinely do not need them. But if you have been here before, if you have had the information and still found yourself drifting back into old patterns, then the honest question to ask yourself is what makes this time different? Because doing the same thing and expecting different results is a cycle that costs you more than money. It costs you time. It costs you the version of yourself that is waiting on the other side of a real commitment. The link is below. The decision is yours. But the people who look back and say that a single decision changed everything are always the ones who made that decision before they felt completely ready. Your body is capable of far more than it has been asked to deliver. Start asking.